I'm like,
he said, what number we on? You supposed to ask Dooch. He
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Alrighty, welcome to episode 13 of Brunch with Besties. Of course, you have Sherry Renee and
Chanel.
All right, so we had a full weekend, but first let's get into our toast. So who are you toasting to, Chanel?
I'm going to give my toast to I do this every time. I'm so irritated. I'm gonna give my toast to Dooch actually and his Forever EP. I really, really like it. It's awesome. So that's gonna be my toast. And I got my favorite song about it. And it's awesome. So yeah, you all need to download that. It's on SoundCloud right now. So listen to that. I really like it. It's dope.
Check it out.
Yes.
And my toast goes to the Milwaukee Podcast Festival because that's one of the many things that we did this weekend. And it was awesome. It was amazing. It was headlined by the Brilliant Idiots, Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne the God, and they were hilarious.
Yes.
All right. Now let's break bread.
Oh, my goodness. Nothing's really going on with me like you just mentioned. I mean, we had a jam-packed weekend. I mean, from Thursday to today, like we are just I feel like we've been around the world. Especially yesterday, we were outside literally from like 11 to 11. Yeah, like that's crazy.
And for those of us who had to travel far,
yeah, from 11 to like 1, so
10 to 1.
Yeah, we did like full shifts yesterday. Like
we did.
We work at Gray Sloan Memorial, so it was really crazy. But it was all good times.
It
fun.
was so, and that's me too. That's my breaking bread too. So let's tell them about our weekend. We started off on Thursday.
Yes.
D-Tip Hack karaoke
Shout out
night.
to them. Oh, it was lit.
It was
on a Thursday.
Oh, I was like, I didn't go to work till 10 o'clock the next day.
Listen, I didn't want to go to work at all.
And I left early.
So mad.
But because the expressway was closed down and all that other stuff, I got home really late. I was trying to be responsible, but I ended up still being irresponsible.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I mean, and shout out to Skybox as well. They do karaoke night every Thursday. And the ladies of Don't Take It Personal podcast collaborated with them, and they had an event at the same time. So, we got up and we did some karaoke.
We did
with the Evolving Chair. Hey, Lakeisha.
Hey,
so
boo.
we all kind of teamed up and did a 702 rendition. It was cracking. So it was a good time. We had the catfish. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, so shout out.
I was thinking about that catfish today.
Good. Yes, girl, it was the bomb. I mean, it was jumping. Even when we left, it was still jumping. Like people were still coming in. It was still like, oh my goodness.
And I was like, where do these people work?
Oh, right.
Like, does everybody have Friday off? And did my job just not get the memo?
Or maybe they were just thinking smart, like, it's a podcast weekend, like we just not gonna go to work.
Yeah,
which
maybe
was
they
smart.
just took off.
Yeah,
that's true. That's what we should have
absolutely just took off. Yeah, which is what we should have done. So next time in the future.
Next time.
So now we know what we're in for. Yeah. But yeah, that was Thursday.
And then on Friday, we actually had to, we did Nadia's gender reveal. So you guys remember our bestie Nadia. So I think we mentioned on a few episodes that she was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And so what ended up happening was she was kind of going back and forth about if she wanted to have a gender reveal or not. But that's just who she is. She's indecisive. Yeah. She's a Libra. That's what they do.
She's very indecisive. But now that she's pregnant, it's like amplified.
Yeah, it's like on 1,000. So like it's irritating is what it is. But in any case, at the last minute, she decided that she still wanted it. So we went full-fledged with a What Will It Be theme, so BEE. Mm-hmm. And so we got some shirts that said What Will It Be, and her shirt said What Will It Be Team Pink. Yep. Her husband said What Will It Be Team Blue. Her son said Will It Be a Little Brother or Sister. Mm-hmm. And then we did a lot of fake outs because we was mad about her going back and forth. Yes. And that's what happens when you piss us off.
It was funny.
So, what was the first fake out? Oh, the silly string.
The silly string was the first fake out. Yes.
So yeah, we had her son. Well, first when she came out, we played a small game where we did a little voting.
Yep, we had to vote.
The voting board where you put a B where. According to what you thought it was going to be.
Right. Either a boy B or girl B.
Boy B or girl B. The girl speeds. What?
Yes.
But so we had her son spray her husband, and the color was supposed to say either be blue or pink, boy or girl. But it was yellow.
Yep. Because we play too much.
She was mad, but whatever.
Hey.
And then we distributed some cupcakes, and we said one of the cupcakes had the gender in there. So we had everybody bite into the cupcake.
Yes. And shout out to those cupcakes.
Those
I don't know who
cupcakes
made
were
them,
amazing.
but they were great. Shout out to Tony the Tiger. Like, oh my goodness. Like, the icing was good. I don't even eat icing, but yeah, I maxed that cupcake. It was wonderful.
They were really good.
Yeah.
I even ate the little bee on top.
Oh my goodness, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I thought it was like decoration. I didn't know it was edible.
It was edible.
I should have ate it because I'm sure it was good.
I'm not even here for all the icing and decorations and all that. It was amazing.
It was so good. Yes. So shout out to that person.
And so there was no color in the cupcake because, again, we played too much. And then, we had her son read a poem. Where he kept it real.
Oh my god, he kept it too real. I was like, you really want the baby to know all?
Yeah, but
it was hilarious.
Yeah, I think the parents found out some things about themselves in that poem.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it was more like a haiku. I don't know. Like it was like, yep, he kept it real. So yeah, shout out to Godson, our Mario.
Yes, he kept it real. And then we had a box that said, "What will it be?" And it was decorated real cute. So shouts out to Lakeisha for doing that box.
It was super cute.
Yes, and shouts out to Keisha for the cupcake.
Yes, Keisha. Yes,
and the theme.
Yes,
she came up with the theme.
She did.
So yeah, and so they opened the box thinking that it was going to be some colored balloons, either pink or blue, and they were black. And it was like, so we're having a black baby.
Yep. So they're having a black baby. Everybody.
Like we think we already knew that,
right?
And then some friends that weren't able to make it, they kind of sent a tribute where they sang a song that Nadia used to sing to her son when he was in the womb years ago, 15 years ago.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then we finally gave her the real reveal. So we had a pillow made. What are those? They're actually called reveal pillows.
Okay.
So when you touch them, it's like a certain color, and it's usually kind of like glittery, I'll say.
So sequence.
Yes, thank you. Sequency. And then when you rub it the other way, it has a saying on it. It's actually really popular. We'll post it so you guys can see it. But hers said, "It's a girl.
It's a girl.
It's a girl."
Yeah, so she's having a baby girl.
Yep, so we're excited, and I'm still throwing in Sherry Renee for the name.
Or Chanel. I mean, that's a beautiful name.
It is.
So, yeah. So, yay. Congratulations to our bestie Nadia and her husband and her son.
Yes.
With the new addition. We're very excited.
Yeah,
so,
we are.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to steal the baby from the hospital.
I'm trying to get my finances in order. Baby girl, we all finna be broke.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just, get my money right.
So then after
that was Friday.
That was Friday.
Ooh. We only on Friday.
We only on Friday.
Okay.
Saturday, we got up, in my mind, early.
It was early in my mind too.
It really wasn't.
It
but
wasn't.
We're lazy on the weekend, so early to attend the Let's Brunch MKE event.
Yes,
which was amazing.
It was super dope.
There was not a lot of black people there
at all,
but I know we be brunching.
Not only that, but like the restaurants. So I know there are some black-owned eateries here, but y'all need to start doing brunch and come out because we would have liked to see you guys there. So
right, and I believe it was hosted by iHeartRadio.
Yes,
I think V100 was there. There were a lot of different local radio stations there. But yeah, so basically what you do is you come in, you grab your tray, and you are free to roam around and try different samples from the various restaurants. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So it was all kinds of foods and samples and drinks too. So like mimosas and Bloody Marys and all different kind of cocktails. So it was awesome.
Yeah. So they had, it looks like 26 different restaurants there. So Chanel and I filled up our tray 3 times.
We did.
With different samples, and we went live.
We did.
We did go live.
But there were some technical difficulties, so we had to figure out the live.
Yeah, you can't brunch and be live.
Right. We were doing way too much. But it was a good live. Wish you guys could see it. It was a really good live. I felt like we were on like the Food Channel or something. It was awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got to see some really good restaurants, and we were especially interested in Mimosa.
Yeah, shout out to Mimosa. They were extremely nice to us. We had our shirts on, so let's say that. So we had our Brunch of Besties podcast T-shirts on while we were there.
Coming soon.
And everybody was just like, wow, can we take a picture of you girls? Can we take your pictures with your shirts on? And then they were like, wow, so you guys have a podcast? And we were kind of telling them about kind of what we do. So yeah, hopefully we get some partnership from Mimosa in the near future.
Yes, and they also had some good healthy options.
Yes.
They made us a nice banana split.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was yummy.
It was good.
Yes.
So yeah,
and their mimosa.
Their mimosa was everything.
Namesake is mimosa, and their mimosas were awesome. So
they
were.
One of the other restaurants that I really liked was Dorcia. We tried their chicken and cinnamon roll.
Okay.
That was amazing.
Let's see. My favorite would have to be Safe House. I know you didn't really like it, but I thought the play on chicken and waffles was dope. So theirs was chicken tenders and funnel cake. And I was like, what? Like, it was really good. Like, it was sweet. It was savory. It was a little spicy. And then they had, like, dill pickles at the top. So I was all for that. So it was really good. I think they're serving, like, samples. So I'm sure if I got in a restaurant, the quality would be much, much better. Not to say that it wasn't great quality, but I would totally eat that again. It was really good. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah, me not so much, but whatever. Wicked Hop, they had the corned beef hash.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good.
No, it's a no.
I thought it was good. I was like, it's a yes.
No. And I'm not a big hash eater, so I was just like, ugh. So, no shade to Wicked Hop because I've eaten there before, and Wicked Hop has yummy food, so... but I'm not a hash fan, so that's just me. Who had that? The Red Lion, that Scotch egg.
Oh, that was everything.
Listen,
let me tell y'all something about this Scotch egg.
Listen.
You ain't never had a Scotch egg.
You need to get your life.
You
that
to
Scotch
Red Lion
egg
and get you one.
Was everything, and the aioli, like the sauce on the top was. Look at me, aioli. I'm fancy. It was good. Like, that Scotch egg was amazing. So, you got to go there. We have to go back.
Yeah.
Because that was really good.
That was really good.
And to our vegan listeners. Hey, vegan listeners. We went to Kilowatt.
All 5 of y'all. I'm just playing.
Right. We went to Kilowatt, and they gave us a vegan option. And it was with a poached egg. So, I'm here for my runny eggs. I love eggs, and I like the yolk. It was really interesting. It wasn't bad. It just tastes like what a vegan dish should taste like in my mind. Like, that's what I assumed a vegan dish would taste like.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then after that, immediately following, we went over to the Milwaukee Podcast Festival.
Yeah. We did take a break.
I wish we would have took a nap.
We should have took a nap. We took a break and, got our life. But then we got to the actual theater that the podcast festival was being held in. And that's where the magic happened.
That's where all the magic happened.
Amazing. We want to start by saying we are super proud of everybody who was a part of the podcast festival. You all did an amazing job. Thank you to everybody who traveled from other cities, other states to be here to support, the local Milwaukee podcasters. It was really dope. Like, it was long, but it was really dope. Like, I was here for it all. And special shouts out to our bestie, Lakeisha, at the Evolving Chair. We are so proud of you. She had the audience in tears.
Yes.
Just amazing.
I'm kind of mad at her for that.
Yeah.
Because I asked her. She was like, oh, no, it's going to be light.
Right.
You don't need to bring no tissues.
Listen.
Girl, bye.
Everybody was in tears. And, she made a thug cry. I was in there like, what? What's happening? Why is my eyes wet? No, I was kidding.
The girl next to me was like, I see your tears. Don't blink.
Listen, yes.
Don't you blink.
We were trying to keep each other together, but just amazing. And shout out to Jadon at Egos and Opinions and Jasmine of 20 Something Series Podcast for having the idea, having the mindset to say, something like this needs to happen.
Yes.
And they pulled it together. And it was awesome.
It was amazing.
So everybody who was involved in the podcast festival, behind the scenes, on the scene, the DJ Dub DZ, the Brilliant Idiots, Charlamagne the God, and Andrew Schultz. Just everybody. It was dope. So if you were there, you got to see the magic. If you were not there, you might want to be there next year because I'm sure it's only going to get bigger and better.
Right. So, Young, Black, and Opinionated was there.
Yes.
They did an amazing job. Chanel already mentioned the Evolving Chair. Technical Foul.
Yeah, that was a new one for me. But they did great.
They did a really good job.
They did great. And I felt so proud of myself because I knew stuff they were talking about thanks to JR. So shout out to my son who keeps me up to date with all the sports stuff because I was like, yeah, I know what's going on. So I really felt happy and proud of myself that I knew.
72 and 10 was there, and they said that they decided to change lives with this
They
podcast because
did.
they learned that women listen. So, shouts out to them for dropping
some gems,
some 3 main life lessons.
Those life lessons,
changing lives,
One listener at a time.
One listener at a time.
Yes.
Sweats and Suits podcast.
Hilarious.
I keep trying to remember what was the final key that Seth said. It was
something about a clap and an applause.
I know. It was so tight, but I couldn't remember it.
can't.
And I was like, dang, now I got to circle back
So
and figure out
Seth, you
what it
got to
was.
tell us what that gem was you left us with.
And then he like dropped the mic and I was like,
he
dang.
did. They were funny too.
And of course, Don't Take It Personal was there.
Awesome.
All cute. I was like, okay, y'all fine.
They got real fine. Somebody got the draws.
Yep,
so
somebody got actually Renell.
Yes, from Social X. He got the draws.
So shouts out to him.
Oh my goodness.
And shouts out to them for that hootie hoo, because every time they say it, it takes me back to when we was in college and y'all was trying to make fun of me, but that's another story for another time.
That's another story, yes.
For another time. Eagles and Opinions was definitely there with the group.
Yeah,
you know what's crazy? You know I'm part of the group.
See, and I'm not. So Jada, I'm sorry, I'm not. I just can't be on Facebook, but I'll live vicariously through Sherry and her.
But I couldn't get that shirt and our shirt, so I was like, I gotta choose me. You know, when it comes to choosing between you and me, I'm choosing.
We're gonna choose, but it's all love. You know,
they did an amazing job.
But they definitely had their crew with them. They were deep. So
they was extra deep.
Shout out to
Ivy
them.
was holding it down for the women.
She
on
was
stage, like for real.
That was a good like battle of the sexes.
Yes,
like, to just see their insight on things.
Yeah, like I felt like that day me and her bonded. You
know? Yeah. So hey Ivy, if you're listening,
yes.
So amazing job.
And then of course the Brilliant Idiots came out.
Yes.
And they tried to attack us.
They did. We were okay, guys. So we're sitting right in the front. For one reason, we wanted to sit in the front so that our bestie Lakeisha could see us, so she knew, her support safety net was there. So we wanted to make sure we were in the front so she can see us. But then we wasn't thinking about it throughout the show. Like people gonna be looking at us like the whole time because we were right in the front.
And it was cold. It was like
freezing.
Extremely cold because, as somebody said, every time the winter comes, it's like a new strand of winter. So you're not ready for it. So I had my blanket, because it's cold.
Thank goodness for that blanket.
And I'm anemic.
Listen, that blanket saved my life because I was like, oh my goodness. Like my body literally by the end of it was like, no, it shut down. Like it was in survival mode. Like that's how cold I was.
And not only that, but I will bring a blanket to the theater.
Listen,
and this was a theater.
She does. Every time we go to the movies.
There's a blanket in my car right now. I've got 17 blankets.
Anytime we go to the movie, she has that blanket. And we're like, really, bro? Like,
it's cold. And it's always cold in the theater. I don't know why.
It was especially cold.
I have one at work too. So, you know why? Because it's cold.
It's cold. Oh my goodness.
And all the white people be fine. I'm cold.
So yeah, they tried to get us, Charlemagne, with his no filter. So
his no filter.
Y'all could be down there playing with each other. And we were like, wait a minute.
It was like, whoa. We put our hands up like we was being arrested.
Right.
Like,
don't shoot. Right. We don't want to take those shots. Don't shoot.
And then the blanket was Harley. So then they started. He was like, y'all ain't even got no bike. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Does.
Right.
She does. She rides.
Listen.
Yes, she does.
So
and then I just opened up a whole nother can of worms. Yeah. So I just decided to go mute because I couldn't win.
Right.
No matter what I say.
You was going to lose.
I was going to lose.
You didn't want to set yourself up for failure.
I didn't want to do that.
No.
But shouts out to them because actually after the fact they took pictures with everyone.
They did.
They signed books. They were hilarious.
Yes.
Like for real.
Funny.
Like I think I became an Andrew Schultz fan.
I did too last night, I think.
Yeah.
Like
he was hilarious.
I remember him from like Guy Code, but I don't know if I've ever seen him on anything else besides that.
He is like ridiculously
He was
funny.
hilarious. Yeah. And he was like giving us like heart attacks because he kept almost falling out the stool.
Yeah, we was praying for him. Yeah, like, Father God, in the name of Jesus,
please don't
here
fall
we come.
back. So he caught himself a couple times.
He did.
So yeah, but yeah, shout out to them. They were great.
Shouts out to them. And one thing, somebody yelled from the audience like, Andrew Schultz, all lives matter or Black lives matter? And I loved his response.
His response was great.
He was like, you're asking the question wrong. You don't give options. The question is, do Black lives matter?
Period. Absolutely.
Because when Black lives matter, then all lives matter. And I was like, Andrew, you better get it.
Because then he said what people are really asking when they pose it that way is, are you racist? Basically.
Right.
So, and I mean, if you want to know the answer, just ask somebody flat out. Like, are you racist? Like, I want to see what you're going to say. Like, don't ask me all that.
the black folks.
Yeah, but they did a great job. And again, shout out to 20 something series. I know behind the scenes she got to do some work with them, but she didn't get to do it on stage because of time constraints, I'm assuming. But it was just so good.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was so good. I woke up this morning so proud of the city and proud of all this talent
and
we have here.
And the kids from where they from?
Milwaukee Excellence.
Yes. They came and shut it down.
They came out
and if it wasn't cold, I would have been up.
I would have too. They had bars.
Acting a fool.
So we're so
but
proud of them.
I was sitting down in my seat acting a fool.
Yes.
Because I was proud of them, but it was just too cold.
We have to post their video too. Let's continue to make those young ladies go viral because their message is awesome. So shout out to Milwaukee Excellence.
Shout out to their parents too.
Yeah.
Their parents was on it.
Yeah, and their teachers.
So proud.
The teacher is Terrence Sims, I believe. And one of my past coworkers was there too. And she now works there. So shout out to the teachers that are, encouraging them to do that. So
and awesome. Shout out to you because they gave you an applause. I don't remember how this happened, but somebody was like, are you a teacher? And you was like, well, yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, that did happen.
And you were like,
you asked me, was I a teacher?
Thank you.
All right. I was like, dang, finally people recognize that I'm a superhero too. Shoot. So, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I don't remember what happened, but good times, man.
Yeah,
it was a really, really good night. I wish it wasn't as cold. And I wish they would have some food. So next time, Wingman, we need you to bring some
Wingman.
Wings,
I was checking his
wraps.
pockets like, dude, I know you got some wings.
Like, where's the food?
Like, for real.
So, yeah. Right. Marcus Center for the Performing Arts. Y'all ought to be ashamed for having chips and candy.
For $4.
For $4, right. I was like, this better be the best chips.
And then not only that, but the chips wasn't even real chips. I don't want this kettle.
Right. They need some, right. I want
these
some Flamin'
healthy
Hots.
options.
Right.
Where are the real chips?
We want some Flamin' Hots. We want some Ruffles. Like, we don't want this, okay? So,
if it wasn't cold outside, I would have went to the nearest gas station.
Listen
and
here.
got some.
Listen. So, next time, we're going to smuggle some stuff in our purses.
Yeah. Somebody asked me if I did. They was like, well, you got a big bag. Why you ain't ready?
We wasn't thinking.
And
we
I was like,
know.
dude, it was either the blanket or food.
Right. We chose the blanket.
I chose the blanket.
Yeah. So, we ain't know. But that was our Saturday, and it was amazing. I can't stress that enough, how amazing it was. So, if you were not there, you missed it. Like, I want you to feel bad. Like, I want to keep saying that you missed it.
You did.
You really did.
I went live with a couple of the pods.
Yeah, so did I.
But then my battery started to go down, and I was like, whoa.
See.
Can't have that happen.
Our PMP is smart, because my phone was dead. Like, it didn't even turn on no more. I was trying to record everybody. So, yeah. So, I think I recorded The Evolving Chair. I recorded The Young, Black, and Opinionated, Sweats and Suits, and 72 and 10. So check those out on my personal live on Instagram, and you can kind of see.
And next time we're gonna have to coordinate that and say, okay, well then you record them, and then I record the next.
We should have seen,
but instead we was both recording the same
at
ones.
the same time.
And then when I saw my battery hit 30, I was like, oh no,
can't record nobody else. So
sorry guys. So y'all gonna have to settle for a picture.
Oh yes, the pictures.
I didn't even record the Brilliant Idiots. I was like, look, y'all gonna get a photo.
I'm sure there'll be some type of recording, because there was so many like photographers and people in there. So y'all will see it. So yeah.
Now, moving into tea time. So today's topic is #Me Too.
Me too.
Episode 13.
Yes.
Me Too.
Yes.
So Me Too was actually started a long, long time ago, back in the 99.
Yep.
By Tarana Burke. So it all started, I believe, in 1997, where she was listening to her 13-year-old girl share her story, and she couldn't even say Me Too because of her shame. And so then later she wanted to kind of make people feel more comfortable and just kind of share in their experience so that they can release the shame.
Experience with what?
Oh, I'm sorry. With sexual assault.
There we go.
So the sad thing about it is that she didn't really get that much like media attention from it. So so that was a long time ago, like literally back in the 99. Right, like way back then. But Alyssa Milano, when she posted about it, so it all started when Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein, people started to make a lot of allegations against him, and so then Alyssa Milano, she asked people to comment on her Twitter feed #MeToo, just to make people more aware of how often this happens, right? So that they can get a sense of the magnitude. And that's when it went viral.
Yeah.
That's when it went viral.
Which is crazy, like 20-something years later, that after she started this kind of movement, that it didn't get any steam until now.
Right.
Which says a lot about how we treat sexual abuse and just the taboo of it all, or the shame of it all.
Definitely.
So it's I'm glad that it's picking up steam now. Better late than never. But this should have been something well known for all this time.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah. And I feel like it started with this Harvey Weinstein. What was that his name?
Weinstein.
Weinstein. I cannot say his
Girl,
name.
pronounce it however you want.
Right. It don't even matter.
We don't got to put no respect on his name.
Well, no respect on your name, sir. But whatever. But the actress Lupita, she spoke out against him. And I think other actresses are beginning to speak out against the sexual harassment that they've received at the workplace, and just sexual abuse, period. And I think, a lot of times we focus on the woman, like, okay, well, we want you to speak out about it, or how did you heal? Like, a lot of it is focused on the woman, but we need to focus more. I'm not even going to say a little more. We need to focus a lot more on how we're educating boys, young men, and boys about, their treatment of women, or, no means no, and touches and all kinds of things. And I feel like for me personally as a parent, I do kind of try to instill that stuff in my son now. Like, you need to be a gentleman, and these are the things you need to watch for, and, open doors and pull out chairs and those type of things. And just letting him know that you need to respect women, all women, not just black women, but every woman you encounter. I don't care if she's young, old, you need to make sure you respect her. And I think we need to change the narrative for our young boys, and, teaching them how they should approach girls and young women. So that's my 2 cents with that.
So they say that 1 out of every 6 American woman has been a victim of or attempted or completed rape in her lifetime.
1 out of what?
1 out of 6.
That's crazy.
1 out of 6 American women has been a victim of an attempted or completed rape in her lifetime.
Wow. That's really crazy. 1 out of 6. And it's so crazy because out of that, there was a statistic, and I don't know if I wrote it down, saying that, were you listening to it in your car? But they were saying how, like, not so many are reported. So it'll happen, but there's that stigma, that shame with it all, that, women are not coming forward. And it's just unfortunate that happens, and they feel that way, that they can't speak out about it.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't know. So I guess I'll share my own personal story with it, but I feel like this whole topic kind of hits close to home for me. And I do want to share that, it's we're all best friends, and it's stuff that even your friends don't know about you, and that goes along with that shame. But I will say that I have my own story with, like, sexual abuse, and this is like, my mom doesn't even know this. So, mommy, when you listen, I want you to just...
my mommy, don't listen.
I don't want you to, like, feel bad, because my mom is very much that mom where she's like, if anybody does anything to my kid, like, I'm going to kill you. Like, and I believe her. Like, I'm pretty sure.
So what you're saying is we should start getting our money up, because now, when she listens, it's about to go down.
My mom wouldn't have no problem going to jail for her kids or her grandkids, like, none. And I believe every time she says, I will kill somebody. And I'm like, please don't go to jail. So maybe that's why, I never said anything to her, because it's really like, my mom gonna go to jail for this. Like, she will kill somebody. But I think in a sense of Me Too, when we think about people who sexually assault, or men who sexually assault women, we think of, like, older men, or, like, creepy, but it could be, like, somebody your age. And that's how it was in my case. Like, there was a friend of the family, so I won't go into too much of detail, but like nobody knows this. Only my baby daddy is the only person that knows this, so it's so crazy. But I'm sharing it with you guys because I feel like it's important, and I feel like I kind of dealt with it in my own way. But,
oh no, and you brought tissue in here. I thought it was because you were sick. I'm scared.
No, I hope I don't cry. But no, I did bring tissue because my nose keeps running.
Okay.
But I hope I don't cry. But if I do, here it is. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, where's that sign that you put up last week?
No, but thank you for making me laugh because that gets me to talk about it. But I'm weird. That's how I share my emotions. Like I'll laugh before I cry any day. But no, like there was a friend of the family's and we would go to their house. Well, me and my sister, I have an older sister. We would go to their house all the time. And the woman had a son. And he's like my age, I'm assuming. I don't remember because, you know, when stuff happens to you, repress that memory. So I repressed it for so long that I don't even know how it came. Well, I'll tell you how it came about, but it was so deep in my mind that I didn't even think about it anymore. But we would go over and just playing. They had a bunch of kids over there, so we would play. And then from what I remember, there was a time like his sister would make him like touch me, like do stuff to me, like, oh, we'll do this. And it was really like thinking about it in hindsight, like it was really weird. Like, why would you do that? But I mean, I can't make excuses for them. I can only say what happened to me. So that's what happened. So she would make him do stuff to me. And there was one point where he like, it was like really like he's like touching me. And I mean, I knew it was inappropriate. I had to be like 7 or 8 or something. But yeah, so getting sexually abused at that young age, like in my mind, I'm like, okay. And his sister would be like, well, don't tell your mom, like don't tell anybody. So in my mind I'm thinking, well, I can't tell because my mom's gonna kill them, like she's gonna go to jail. And at this point some other stuff had happened to my mom. Like my mom was in a domestic abuse relationship, so for a long period, like she was in the hospital, and we went to stay at their house. So while she's going through that, I mean, I'm at their house, and then this is kind of happening. And for so long, like I hadn't thought of this. And it wasn't until my son's father and we were breaking up, and I'm losing it. Like you remember me at the time, like I was really like out of it. Like I'm crying, I'm screaming, like, no, like you can't do this. Like, what are you doing? And I'm just telling him like everything, like, no, like don't break up with me. Like this is crazy. Like this happened to me. And he's just like, oh my God, like that happened to you. Like, wow. Like it kind of took him back, but you know, it didn't, we were not together. So it wasn't like whatever. But, yeah. So then like thinking back, it made me really understand my promiscuity. As a teenager, like I was over sexualized because that happened to me so young.
Right.
So yeah, so it was really like, it was shameful. Like, well, why am I so like over sexualized? Like, why do I like do this stuff? Like, just a lot of it, like even like masturbating as a kid, it's just like, well, why am I doing this? I know some kids do it because they're exploring, but for me it was something else. Like this boy took something from me that I can never get back.
Right.
And I didn't understand it because I was so young. Like I was 7 or 8 years old. Like that's, my kid right now is 8. So if he told me something like this was happening, like again, I would turn into my mom and be like, I'm going to kill this person. Right. Like now you got to die. And it's like, that's something that you can never get back. And I mean, it feels good for me right now to kind of say it to everybody. And for a long time, I would go back and forth with myself, like, you need to tell your mom, like, tell her. Like, even though I'm an adult, it was still like, I can't tell her because I don't want her to go to jail. Like, I was still like, no. Yeah. Right. Like, she's still, so.
There is no statute of limitations.
There isn't. But when this drops, hopefully I'm sure me and her will have a conversation because it's so close to home because my mom was also sexually abused as a child. So I'm sure for her, it's going to be like, okay, well, this cycle was my fault. Like, and I don't want her to have that feeling of it. Because her situation was interesting, and I don't want to go too much in detail about her situation, but she was very vocal to us about what happened to her. So I think for me, knowing that also happened to her, and then her being like, you know, I'll kill somebody. Like, I got my gun. I don't care. Like, I'm about this. So for me, it was really like, that was the shame for me. Like, I can't destroy my mom.
So you were trying to protect them.
I was trying to protect them because I was trying to, from my mom. Right. And for all this time, like, I mean, I can't be like, well, this is what they did, or I can't. But no, like, it shouldn't have happened. Like, and this where it goes back to that mental health and like counseling and stuff like that. Like, Lakeisha's always on point when she talks about stuff like that, because that stuff needs to happen. Something could have very well happened to them as well, but something also happened to me, and then that trickles down to, you know, the decisions I made in my life,
right,
as far as
and
my sexual relationships,
your kids, and
exactly,
things like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So now I'm like very like kind of like my mom, overprotective of my son. Like when he goes to relatives' house or friend's house, I'm like, okay, what happened? Like, did somebody touch you? And not, you know, I say real words like, did somebody touch your penis? Like, was somebody touching your butt? Like, right. I need to know. And he's to the point now where he's just like, no, like, stop asking me that. Right. But it's just like, no, I gotta know, because kids won't say anything. And at 30 now, like, I really feel now, healing, helping others as we heal and help ourselves. But I really feel good that I'm sharing this, and people can kind of understand like how I am about sex and like my body. Because for a long time it was just like shameful. Like anytime I would have sex, it would be like shameful. Like, this is crazy. But now I'm to the point where it's just like I'm kind of learning to love my body and love myself and understand, you know, who I am as a woman. But yeah, for something like that to happen to someone at 7 years old is kind of crazy. And then too, if Lakeisha were here, she would say what development stage you were in at that point and how that plays a factor. Sherry can't tell you what development stage. I said Sherry don't know, but yeah. So when you and I were thinking about talking about this Me Too, I was going back and forth in my mind, like, well, should I share, you know, my personal story? But I feel like it's important for me to share what happened to me, because I'm sure 9 times out of 10 it happened to someone else. Like, someone else has the same exact story that they can share. And that's the whole point of this hashtag Me Too. We need to speak out against that. This happened to me as well. Like, you're not alone. You're not in this by yourself. But we can't overcome it. And again, if we continue to bring this up, like me too, you know, this happened to me, we can change that narrative of how boys react, and, you know, kind of some of the decisions that they make, and to make mental health issues open and honest, and to be able to talk about those things. I think they all kind of work hand in hand to kind of go over that. And it does, because something happened to that boy. Exactly. To make him want to do that. Exactly. But yeah, I was going back and forth like, am I going to share? Girl, yeah. I don't know. Listen, that's how it was too. But I feel better. Like, I really feel good. And I didn't cry, so I'm proud of myself. But it's been so long. And like I said, that was a memory that I had repressed for so long, that once it started to come back to the front of my mind, I was just like, oh my God, that did happen to me. Like, it was really crazy. And it kind of feels like a dream. You know how when you wake up, you're trying to remember a dream? Like, all of that felt like a dream. But as I started to think more about it, like, I could piece it. Like, I remember we were in a basement, and I have the details, and it's just like, oh my God, like, it makes me sick to my stomach when I think of the actual details. Like, what the heck? Like, we were kids. Like, we were 7. Like, that's crazy. So, I remember mine vividly, maybe because I was older. Okay. But it was actually my boyfriend. Oh no. Yeah, we was together for a long time, and I thought he was cheating on me. So I was like, no. As you know, on Don't Take It Personal, they talk about GTD. Ain't no draws being gotten tonight. Right. It's a no. It's a no. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But he raped me anyway. Oh. And then don't look at me. No, sorry. Listen. Right. Don't cry up in here. Yeah, we're not going to cry. Because, I already know who this is. So I'm in my mama mode. Like, I'm going to kill him now. So, yeah. And so I grabbed all my stuff afterwards. Like, literally ran to the bus stop, went home. And then the next day, I went to Planned Parenthood. I wanted to get tested for everything. Absolutely. And the woman was like, the inside of you look like you have been scraped. Yeah. And she gave me cards and was like, oh, you know, if you want to talk and blah, blah, blah. And I literally, when I went in there, I didn't speak a word. I went in there, I signed in. Like, she kept asking me all types of, I couldn't even respond. That's shock.
But when she told me that my insides looked like I had been scraped,
yeah,
I started to cry, you know, and she was just like, here's my information. If you need to talk, whatever. But I just kind of like, so then I remember after the fact, like he was calling me like nothing happened. And I was like, no, you raped me. No, I didn't. And da, 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 da. He was really drunk. He was really, really drunk. When it's crazy because, you know, obviously this is somebody that I trusted.
Right.
This is somebody that I was comfortable with.
Yep.
There was a point where I didn't trust him, right? I thought that he was cheating on me. I wasn't sure. But it's just so crazy how quickly things shifted. You know, it's different when, like he just had so much force. Like I remember thinking like, I never knew you were this strong. You know what I mean? Like I literally cannot move because I was used to him touching me. Right. But it wasn't,
but not in
like
that manner.
Yeah. So it was really, I just remember feeling like, I was disappearing. Yeah. Like this is crazy. But, and it's crazy because he never would admit it. He never would admit it. Never would admit it. And I was just like, okay, you know, whatever. But I think it goes back to the Me Too, right? The whole point of just saying like, hey, this is really common. Because in my mind, that wasn't common.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So, not that it should be common by any means.
Unfortunately.
But I was like, well, who can I tell? Because my friends don't know anything about this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, who can I tell? If I tell my brother, he will go and murder somebody.
He's going to be in jail.
He'd probably still be there now. If I tell my mom, if I tell my stepdad, that's what they're going to do too.
They're going to be in jail.
It was like...
Yeah.
What do you do? Yeah. Because you have to think you got to think about, I think about the consequences of my actions. And so I was so concerned about like how the outcome was going to be that I was just like, you know, to share or not to share.
That was me too.
And I chose not to.
But there it goes. That was me too. So yeah, which is so crazy because like we just said, like it's so unfortunately common that stuff happens. And it's not this, you know, creepy man off the street or this old creepy person.
Because that's who I was always worried about was a creepy man off the street.
Like right, we get told about that person. Like beware of stranger danger.
Stay with your friends. Be in a group. Do this. Do that. No, this is somebody who I've been with for years.
Yep, it's the people we know, and I have been going to their house since I was a baby. So
exactly. Yeah, but I think for me, so. I was never like a promiscuous person, you know. Right. I waited a very long time to have sex. I was an adult, you know. I was like, I can't be making these type of decisions.
Listen.
And so I was really like beyond hurt by that because I was like, first of all, you know, I have high regard for my body. I have high regard for who I'm with. You know, I don't sleep around, but I think that's and then two. So Chanel and I went to this fashion event a couple weeks ago and they were like, so they tell you about your body type and they were like, yep, you're an hourglass. I know I'm an hourglass. Right. I've always gotten a lot of attention, you know, and that for that reason, that's why I don't talk to a lot of people, right? I base it off of how you approach me. Oh, hey girl, right. No, thank you. Right. Because
I've heard it all
I've heard it all before. Just because you're fascinated with this shape, I see it every day. So whatever, you know. But yeah, like I wanted to kill him in real life. But in that moment, I literally was helpless. I've never felt so helpless in my life. Like I was like, I cannot believe. And then a part of me was just shocked. Yeah. Like, who are you? Yeah. Who are you? And why are you doing this to me? You don't do this to people that you love.
You claim you love.
Right. Right. So I think that made me... even more because again, like I said, I wasn't really promiscuous to begin with, but it made me even kind of like retreat even more and be like,
so it's the opposite for you, like no, because you have that tie with that memory, like this is somebody I loved, I was in a relationship with at some point and you did this to me, so now
everybody I'd be like,
everybody
I know it's been 10 years.
Right, exactly.
You still ain't.
Yeah, you said, no. And then on the flip side for me, it happened so young where I couldn't process
Right.
what was happening. You don't know your body at 7 years old.
Right.
So then every time I thought that was okay. Like this was what I should be doing.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for me, I'd be like, don't look at me like that.
Listen. And for me, I'm like, look at me, like I'm ready. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But no. So it definitely goes to show, you know, how common these things are. But I think you kind of mentioned that he was drunk or something.
Yeah,
you
I still feel like
that.
there's no excuse.
But right, and that's what I was just about to say. Like there is no excuse, and that's why, you know, we need to not train our boys, but our boys need to have a higher regard to women.
But I also think too, for me, it was like, okay, if I do go forward with this, then it's really just my word against his, because we all was a couple. So
right.
Yeah, you can do whatever test you want. If they find his DNA, then who, you know what I mean? Like, how do you? I just felt like there was no. I don't know.
And that's unfortunate too, because the system shouldn't be that way. If I'm telling you,
if you think about it, even recently, Nelly was accused of sexual assault, and I believe the woman dropped her charges.
Yeah, because she was like, nobody's gonna believe her.
And so a lot of people are saying, well, she was lying, and that's why she dropped him. No, she probably didn't want to go through the hassle. And then not only that, but it also depends on who you are accusing, because if you are accusing an athlete, or a player or something like that, they are coming for you.
Absolutely,
and they're gonna pull up anything in your past
to make you look bad,
to make you look like you're trying to set them up. And with him, and that's why when people have that status, when they're famous or whatever, it makes it more difficult, because people always think like that they're a paycheck. Now people think like that's the woman's motivation for doing this. Yeah, it's to, you know, oh, she's looking for some money. No. Yeah. Maybe she was violated. And maybe this just isn't okay. And maybe y'all should just listen to her.
There it is.
And it's one of those things where it's like, it's just crazy, because the way that society is, you know, I was even watching How to Get Away with Murder. And they did a flashback to Annalise with, what's that? Bonnie. Bonnie was on the stand. They did a flashback to like years ago where Bonnie was a victim of sexual assault
by her dad.
And Annalise was coming against her, and she was like, are you absolutely sure? He has kids, he has a family, he has this, he has that. You're bringing up something that happened 10 years ago. Are you absolutely sure that this is him? If you were raped by dozens and dozens of men, how do you remember that it was him? And, you know, and because she had that doubt, and because the consequences are high. You know, the consequences are high. Like, hey, if it wasn't him, then you ruined his whole life.
Exactly.
You know, but what about her life?
Exactly.
What about her well-being?
Yeah. And that also made me think about 13 Reasons Why. So if anybody's seen that, but the young lady was raped, and it was very vivid. So if you've seen the show, they actually show the rape actually happening. And it's very hard to watch. It was hard for me to watch that part.
Oh yeah, it was definitely hard to watch that.
But she was like frozen. And I think at that point is, you know, you have those survival skills kick in, but hers was at that point, it was like she couldn't do anything about it, right? To just be numb about it. And it was so hard to watch that, and for her to say, you know, she couldn't tell anybody because she felt ashamed, because they, you know, kids were calling her names and all that stuff. So it's just so many layers. But it's just like, why? Like, that should not be the case. It shouldn't be. And it's really unfortunate. That we're
taught that.
Absolutely, we're taught that from birth, which is crazy, because, I mean, if you think about women, just in general, like all women are, they're not the creators of life, but we bring life into this world. Like, our wombs are special. And I feel like we are not celebrated in that manner, that you know, women are powerful. We can feed people, like
our whole body is like self-containing. Like, literally, we can birth the baby can literally be nourished from us.
It's really really crazy.
I mean, God is amazing.
God is amazing. You're right. He didn't make no mistakes when he created the woman. Like, we're spectacular beings, and we're not celebrated in that regard. And it is a learned behavior that, you know, it's just, we are what we are, and that's it. But I think this campaign of Me Too can be so big to like I said, to change that narrative of that, you know, we are seeing this hashtag so many times, and this is happening to so many women. I mean, all races of women, all classes of women, educational levels. Like, it's happening to too many women, period.
It really is. Yeah.
So,
but it's because men have been getting away with it for many years. And
forever.
You know what? I don't want to just make this all about women either, because it's happening to boys.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. You're right.
It's
Absolutely.
Happening to boys.
It's happening to boys
and,
as well.
Iyanla actually had a 2-part episode where she had, I think, 5 men on her show, where grown men, and this happened to them years ago, and one of them had happened to him in the military.
Oh, wow.
You know, and so it's kind of like one of those things where it's a social issue, and it's not being addressed as such. And I think that when you come out and say, and then too, you don't want people looking at you different.
That's true.
Like, after you come out and say this, you don't want people to be like, to pity you.
That exactly.
And look at you with, are you okay?
Yeah.
So if anybody comes up to me and says anything, I swear to God, I'm slapping you in your face.
Yeah. And I'm
just
not
playing.
even that type of person to be like, oh, let me hug you. Because I don't know. My emotions are set up differently. Like, I promise you, like, I'll say a joke to make us laugh before I, like, be sad about something. That's just kind of who I am. And maybe that's because I hold a lot of stuff in, but that's another topic in another day.
No.
So I'm definitely going to try to make you laugh before I'll be like, come give me a hug. Like, that's just weird. So.
But yeah, but I don't know. And I also think that some people just don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah.
And then just the process, right? Now you got to do a sworn statement, and now you got to do this. And then you got people trying to poke holes in your story. Well, I thought you said this, or I thought you said that. Or it could be, well, why did you wear this? Or why did you have that? What were you doing there?
Yeah.
Or, because, you know, with on 13 Reasons Why, I believe she was at a party that she technically wasn't supposed to be at.
And she was drinking.
Right? And so then, too, I think if you're in a situation where you felt like you were doing something in the wrong, right? Like, if you were underage drinking, then you're like, oh, well, if I say this, then I also have to say that.
Yeah.
I can't do one
without
the other.
Yeah.
And I think that that's kind of what I did, where I was just like, you shouldn't be with him no way. You know what I mean? Like, I was just kind of putting some of it on me, you know, like, well.
Yep. And that's for me too. Like I said, like, I didn't want to put more on my mom, where I was just like, she's already dealing with too much. Like, I can't say anything else.
Right.
So, yeah, which is really sad. So I guess I'm glad we both got to share our personal stories, because maybe it'll allow other listeners, men and women, to share their stories, because that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're here for.
So it's very important, and to not feel shameful. I mean, we got to let the shame go.
Right, let the shame go. And not only that, but I think, like you said, it does help you. If you just repress it, then it still shows up in your life.
Absolutely.
You know, it continues to show up in your life. And so it's better to try to address it, right? If you need to go talk to that mental therapist, you can hit up the Evolving Chair.
Absolutely. She's taking appointments all the time.
She is. That is her handle on Instagram, the Evolving Chair. And kind of work through it, because it'll help you understand, like you said, that's why you were over sexualized. And I think for me, that's why I retreated even more, like, we gonna shake hands. Like, who are you?
Yep.
Don't look me directly in the eye.
We're gonna fist bump.
Right, we gonna fist bump. Right.
We only fist bump. How do you show affection? We fist bump.
You know.
Me and my husband. That's what we do.
No.
Hey.
So I'm exaggerating.
But it's funny.
I'm exaggerating, but
So, yeah.
but I think it did make me retreat a little bit more, you know.
Yeah.
So
but I like this movement, and I more power to it. And you know, and like I said, it doesn't end with our stories.
It doesn't. And then there's some that are, you know, you have them all across the spectrum, and not only that, but even mental abuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think everybody could probably say me too.
To mental abuse, yes, me too. Absolutely, me too.
I mean, it's just abuse in general, but our culture where usually there's like a dominant figure who has authority and who abuses it, right? They abuse their power. And it's just such a shame that people will know. Like, you'll have a whole like subculture or society of people who know that things happen, but they just
don't say anything,
turn a blind eye,
which is really unfortunate. So we all need to band together and let's change the narrative with sexual abuse, because it has to change. And you know, people, I mean, this is America, so we theoretically should feel like we have the right to speak out against any injustice, especially sexual abuse, because it's not okay. So whether you're young or old, or you know, man, woman, it's not right. And no means no. Isn't that so simple? Like, I don't understand how something so simple.
And you know what's crazy? Y'all could be in the middle of sex, and
right? She
could be
like, no,
on second thought, I'm good.
You gotta stop.
Right.
Listen, you got to, and we have to teach men and women that, like, no, we gotta stop. And I think that also happened on, I keep bringing up 13 Reasons Why. That was a good show now that we're talking about this. But yeah,
controversial, but
very,
very good and needed for the culture.
It was a much needed show. But there was a scene in it where the two main characters were about to have sex, and she was just like, no, like, stop. Like, she started to freak out because she was having memories of her being raped. So she was like, no, stop. And the young man, he stopped. But he was just like, what's wrong? Like, he didn't know what was wrong with her. He thought she was just like tweaking, but he did stop. And, you know, and then he kind of was thinking, well, I should have asked more questions, and maybe I could have helped her, but that's neither here nor there. But he did stop, and they did a good job of showing that.
And she was trying to talk to the counselor.
Yeah. Oh, girl.
Yeah.
That counselor made me mad.
He made me mad, too.
He made me so mad. Like, she's there, like, pouring her heart out, and he's just like, well, what did you do? Like, maybe you should have did this. And she like, really, nigga? Like that? I feel like that's what she should have said.
Yeah, she should have.
So, yeah, because he was a black dude, and she should have let that one go. Like, really, nigga? Like, this what you want me to do? Like, no. So that was very disheartening, and the show is so controversial because it's so true.
But it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
I'm sure there are many counselors at school who just, you know, they go to work, get their check. I mean, working in a school is hard in and of itself. Let me just be clear with that. Working with students and working in a school is very difficult. But then, I mean, you got to do your job. I mean, it's hard, but if a kid comes to you and like, well, this is happening to me, as educators, you are required by law to report any of that.
Right.
That's your job. So it was very disheartening to see that, but it was, like I said, it's very true and factual. I'm sure there are.
But, you know, shouts out to the people
counselors
who do stand up for those people. There, I can't remember all the details, but there was a woman on a flight. It was a guy who was sex trafficking, and he was bringing girls over to the U.S., and she was a flight attendant. Somebody, if you can think of the story, send it to us.
Yeah, email it to us. Or either drop it on our Instagram.
Yes,
at BRUNCH with BESTIES podcast on both.
Yes, at gmail.com and on Instagram.
Yes.
But she looked at the girl, thought that the girl didn't look okay, and she saw that they were dressed different. Like, she felt like they didn't look like they belonged together, but yet they were sitting together. And so she went in the restroom and she wrote the girl a note, and then when she came back, she motioned to the girl to go to the bathroom, and she did. And the girl, I think she said, like, do you need help or something along those lines, and the girl said yes, and they shut down that whole operation. So shouts out to the people like that who just pay attention to, you know, little cues,
those everyday heroes. And then, wow, they gave me chills.
Yeah. And there was another situation, I don't know if it was here or where it was, but there was a woman walking down the street, and she saw a man holding the hand of a little girl, and the little girl, she said that the little girl just kept looking at her, that she would not break eye contact. And so she called the police, and she was like, I just have a gut feeling. And come to find out, that man had abducted that girl years ago.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
There was a similar story like that in Milwaukee. I think with the bus driver. Okay. Like, the bus driver noticed that a young lady was like running, trying to get her attention. Like a van had pulled up to her and tried to grab her. So the girl like ran on the bus, and the bus driver like sped off and like helped the young lady on the bus. Because Milwaukee is like one of the number one cities for sex trafficking. It's really crazy. But I had an Uber driver. I was going to the airport one time, and my Uber driver was kind of telling me about it. And she was like, yeah, so if you ever go anywhere, you know, like, be careful, because they're, like, snatching up young ladies, and make sure, you know, people know where you are, and turn on your location on your phone. So now, like, on my phone, so on iPhone, you can share your locations. I share my location with everybody. Like, if you're in my contacts, dude, I might be sharing my location with you. Like, I share it with everybody, like, all my friends, co-workers. Like, I just share my location with everybody, because, I mean, I go out sometimes alone. Like, I'll go out by myself, and my mom hates that. She's like, why are you going by yourself? Like, we're like, you need to travel in groups and like be with somebody. But it's like, you know, sometimes it's not always possible. So I'll make sure I share my location. And I guess that's one of the great things about having an iPhone, that you can do that. And
don't be plugging iPhone.
I'm just saying, you know, save a life, you know. There was, and this is a sidebar, but this dude, I don't know if you all heard this in the news, but this guy has a Apple Watch, and his heart rate was off. And he went to the doctor, and he was having like I don't know if it was a heart attack. I could be wrong, but if you know this story, please correct me. But I don't know if he was having a heart attack or something. But thanks to him having an Apple Watch, he was able to detect his heart, and he saved his life.
I switched over. I'm team iPhone now.
About time. It only took you 10 years.
But when you sent me your location, it was like, Chanel has shared her location. Would you like to share yours? And I was like, she nosy.
You said, why? Why she
like, what she need to know where I am all the time?
Listen, I was like, I gotta share. I mean, I was going to DC, so I was like, let me share, because I don't know what I'm about to get into. I'm getting in Uber cars, and I don't know where I'm at. So I'm like, let me share my location. So I just always do that. So that's one of my tidbits for you Milwaukee listeners, especially with Milwaukee being such a heavy sex trafficking city, that you share your location with people. Let them know where you're going, and just be present and aware of your surroundings, because it's crazy out here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it definitely is crazy out here.
So
I wonder why Milwaukee is so heavy for sex trafficking.
That I don't know, but it's a high percentage. So if anybody has the stats on that,
turn their daggone head, whatever.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah. With Milwaukee being so segregated, probably like, we don't care. Take it.
Take
so,
it. Do it.
Unfortunately. But yeah, that's it. So that's my suggestion. If you have an iPhone, especially, share your location, because I share mine with everybody. And I think you can share with like people who even don't have iPhones, because my mom does it, and I share my location with her too. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think that we should all do the Me Too. You know, just on your social media, just do it. You know, at first I was like, I ain't doing that, because I don't want nobody inboxing me. I don't want nobody calling me. Leave me alone.
Right. I think I did post the hashtag on my personal account.
But I'm gonna put it up on our Brunch with Besties page, because it's needed, and you never know, you could be helping someone. And I know that there were some Me Too's that I saw, and I was like, oh no, why? You know. But nonetheless, we need the awareness. And also, if you are a victim, you can definitely call 1-800-656-4673. And then, and I would say, even if you are an abuser, give them a call as well, because 9 times out of 10, it's probably because of something that has happened to you. And we know that these things are in our cycles, in our family cycles. So,
yeah. Get the help you need. I mean, it's out there. The help is absolutely out there. And to get rid of the shame. I mean, we can't live our life being shamed. So we got to make sure we prosper and grow. So.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
All right. So what are we taking away on today?
Okay. So my takeaway is going to kind of be a spin off of A Different World. It's my favorite show. But what is her name? Debbie Allen's character. She played a therapist on the show, and she would always say, relax, relate, release. So that's going to be my takeaway. I felt like today we both were able to do that. We were able to relax, relate to our people, and release our personal shame that we had. And it, for me,
set it free.
Set it free. Let it go. And it feels great. Like I feel
does feel good.
I don't have something on my shoulders that, you know, we were carrying for years. So it definitely feels good to let it out with our listeners and to share that, you know, that piece of ourselves with you all. So yay. Yep. Relax, relate, release.
We over here dropping secrets that we never even knew about each other.
Right. We know about each other. Our families don't know. Like, it's really crazy. So, but there it is.
There it is. My takeaway is, I think the same thing is to release the shame, and then that allows you to get to healing. You know, you're able to share your testimony, which is healing for others, and heal yourself. And that's what we do on Brunch with Besties.
That's our vision.
We help and heal others while we help and heal ourselves.
Indeed. That's it.
All right. So thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties. Until next time.
Peace. Thank you for listening to Brunch with Besties. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to shoot us an email at brunchwithbestiespodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram. Our handle is @brunchwithbestiespodcast. For right now, you can listen on SoundCloud. Be sure to review, subscribe, and comment. We appreciate it. Thank you.